Hello, everybody. Here is a new episode of the Synthesize podcast. Today we have Tibor, and Tibor is an amazing coach who is driven by passion. He left his 9 to 5 in order to be able to be a full-time coach. And this guy is really it's impressive what he does. He really set himself goals and he achieved them, and he really removes everything that is not allowing him to achieve his goals. He's really like a train who just started and he will only stop when he arrives in the right train station. Tibor, can you introduce yourself in a few words?
Few words. What are a few words? I- Because I can ramble on for like 50 minutes. But because okay, I'm Tibor. I am 24 years old. I'm from the Netherlands, and I'm a full-time creator. I used to do a 9 to 5 job as a PE teacher, but 2 months ago I transitioned full-time to being a mentor online, basically.
Congratulations for becoming a mentor. Tell me,
Thank you.
Tibor, how does it feel now to be full-time?
Oh, it feels amazing, honestly. And it isn't what I initially thought, right? Because I thought always I wanted freedom. I wanted the financial freedom, the location freedom, and the time freedom. But I realized that that is not true, because complete freedom, it just leads to chaos. What I really wanted was autonomy, the ability to choose what I want to work on, with who I want to work with, when I want to work with, where I want to work. And that I got now. Like, I'm working for myself, I'm working with amazing people, I get paid for what I love to do. I would do this for free, to be honest. But yeah, of course, we need money to survive. But yes, it is amazing. It still feels surreal.
When I'm listening to you, it does feel like something magical happened in your life. And that at one point you made a decision to have that autonomy that you wanted to be living and working in the way that feels right for you. And what is that moment where something magical happened? Is there something magical, or was it you who decided, oh, today I'm going to be an entrepreneur, today I'm going to be a creator, today I'm going to be full time, and I'm going to make it happen?
Oh, I think it wasn't like a sudden moment. I feel like it was the sum of like 1,000 moments, like 1,000 small personal wins. I feel like it was because I always think that you are the biggest obstacle, you yourself. Like, I am my biggest obstacle. I really feel like that 99% of the people don't have a business problem. They have a personal problem reflecting on their business. And for me, it is also the case, right? Because if I'm being really honest with myself, I can always do more. People like Alex Ramosi, Sam Offens, and even like Elon Musk, for example, are great examples for this. Like, they are laser focused. They are working like all of the time. They are working on what they like to do, and just without indulging in any distractions. So I thought, if I could mimic that kind of focus, that kind of dedication towards what I do, then it would be unreasonable not to succeed. So I just focused on improving myself a lot, and that is what got me the greatest results.
It's beautiful. I think you really nailed it. Like business is a car and we are the driver. And a car can be as efficient as the driver. If the driver is sleeping on the wheel, it's not gonna go anywhere. And if the driver is not looking at the roadmap, people not gonna get anywhere. So what is that happen? What created that motivation for you to be so focused? Because a lot of people they just rather they be playing video games or smoking weed or even whatever, just watching Netflix. What is the thing that's changed in your mindset? Is like, oh, I have to be focused. Me, it's not the others, but me, I have to be focused.
Right. So okay, so it was mainly it was mainly due to pain. to be completely honest. Because for me, I think pain is the strongest motivator. And that is also true in business. Like people don't buy their way into pleasure, but they buy their way out of pain. I always use this example like imagine you are walking on the street and you're really thirsty. Then you see a lemonade stand. The likelihood of you buying a lemonade is really high because you're in pain, you're thirsty. And compare that to the situation where you are full, you had a great lunch, then you're walking on another street and you see this really fancy lemonade stand, way more attractive than the one before. But still, the likelihood of you buying that lemonade is much lower because you're not in pain, you're not thirsty. So I I keep this in mind, but what really happened to me is I didn't really like the way that my life was going, and I didn't like the direction. I wasn't feeling my 9 to 5 because I wasn't that passionate. I wasn't really teaching. Now what I'm doing, I'm really teaching. The people who I speak to, like yourself now, are really listening, right? So I didn't like where my life was going, and because of that I used like coping mechanisms like video games, like other things that are not good for you. So basically, yeah, I decided that something has to change because if I was going in the same direction, where if I was going in that direction, then it would not end up really good. So I just did the whole complete 180. I decided to cut all of the distractions, don't do any bad habits anymore, and just completely focus on my business, basically.
It's beautiful. It really sounds when I'm listening to you that the pain you were in was the pain of not living your purpose, because your purpose is to be a creator and live that passion that you have. But at
Mhm.
your job, you were not able to do it. So you said, fuck it. You did this 180 and you started working and just be focused, so remove all the distraction. And I really want to say congrats to that, because I know for someone who had all the distraction that exists in the world, that was onto drugs, onto video games, onto Netflix, onto everything. And I just really cleared that from my life. And I know how hard it can be and how easy it is to slip into that. The question that comes to me, and I'm sure a lot of people who are now joining the community and following the roadmap, wondering, what is that thing that really clicked into your mind of like, oh, no, I can get clients, no, I can ask these people for money.
Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah, I feel like we all are struggling with this imposter syndrome, right? We are thinking like, oh, and I to be honest, I still feel that sometimes. I still feel like, am I really delivering like a lot of value, like enough value to those people? But so I did that by taking all of the risk myself, basically. My first mentor, he said, okay, you should basically charge like $500 a month for this. And I thought, $500 a month? Why would anyone pay $500 a month for this? Because we often underestimate our own capabilities and our own qualities. But and because but yeah, but still I felt this imposter syndrome, and you can't go around it. Sure, you can. I think the easiest way for me was to make my offer like as no-brainer as possible. I didn't do 500 a month. I just started with $100 a month, and with a crazy guarantee. If the person didn't get those results, or he wasn't happy at the end of the 30 days, he would get all of his money back. No questions asked. Because my mindset is, I will either earn or I will learn. And right now, I am not looking for any short-term cash. Like if I can live from this, then that is enough for me. I don't need 10K per month. I don't need 20K per month. I just need to do what I love for a living. So, and the fastest way for me to grow is to help as many clients as possible. So that was kind of my focus. Like I'm not charging, I wasn't charging a lot back then. I still don't think I'm charging a lot right now because I am. just focus on learning, 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 learning. And I always make sure I want to over deliver for those people. So if you can, if you can just ask, like, for example, this is what people can do, right? If they help one person for free, they follow the roadmap. And then at the end of the roadmap, they ask those people, okay, so what do you think this, what we have done is worth? They might be able to say, oh, this is worth like $200, for example. Then you can ask them, okay, so what could I do, or how can I improve this offer that would make it $400 in your opinion? They would give you feedback, you implement that feedback. Then for the next client, you just ask $100, because then the value is validated at like $400, somewhere around that. And if you only ask for 25% for $100 for that, and you offer a strong guarantee, I think that can be the first step that will get you paid.
This is beautiful. I love the way you really are focused on over delivering and really want to make sure that the people really end up satisfied. And it's one of the best way to have clients giving you referrals because like, hey man, I've got this amount of value that's $400 and I got it for 100. So people
Right.
clearly, and to touch on the imposter syndrome and how we devalue what we do, I've interviewed people who are like, I've interviewed some top sales people from LinkedIn. And even at that level, they still have like imposter syndrome. And from what they say is that imposter syndrome is a sign that you are moving toward a new level. Every time you're moving to a new level, you have a
Mm,
new imposter syndrome. And on the other side is like we can make money on what we have the most. So for example, you and me, we have a lot of focus. And that's something for us that's normal. We have so much focus, it's almost no valuable for us. But for someone who is very stressed and distracted, focus is something they don't have. So what we need to understand is that we need to give what we have too much, which has no value for us, in exchange
mhm.
of what we don't have, which is the money we want. So that's where I think like when I'm thinking about me, I'm like I have a lot of focus because I'm meditating so much. I'm always calm. But other people don't have that. So we need to shift the focus. What is valuable for them, not for us? And we have too much, so we can give it. Because when we give it, we don't feel like we're losing anything. I don't feel
Yeah,
like I'm losing anything when I'm giving my time because I have so much time that I'm like, hey, I don't care. But you, if you don't have time, you're winning something. This is beautiful. So what would be your advice to people who are watching now and who are like starting the roadmap and they're like, oh, I'm having these uh, clients who are like, how do you call them? Test clients.
case
And
studies.
the case studies, yes, they have case studies and they're scared of asking them about the money thing.
Yes. So just offer like a crazy strong guarantee. Like the most important thing is like seeing that first $100 or something like that ka-chings out on Skool. That sounds so good. It's so satisfying. Ka-ching, ka-ching. So sometimes I just ask clients to do like 3 payments just so I can get more dopamine from that ka-ching sound. But so basically, like it is scary, right? Asking for money, for example. But if you offer a crazy guarantee, then they don't have to take the risk. You take all of the risk. For example, I will help you get your first client in like this amount of time. And if you don't have your first client by then, you get all of your money back, no questions asked. By that, you take all of the risk, and they feel then you don't have to feel imposter syndrome, because if you mess it up, if you don't, and of course there are other variables, because will they actually do the work, because most people they actually won't do the work. But still it feels good for you to say, okay, I have a way to test this, and if it works then I earn, if it doesn't work then I learn, basically.
it really sounds that for you, learning is really the best path to earning.
Mhm.
So my question would be like, what is the next step for you as you're learning and you're earning?
My next step, um, my next step is like keep doing what I'm doing. Like I just started with uploading YouTube videos as well, because I believe in maximizing impact. I believe if there are so many of us passionate creators, also the people who are watching this, who have like a passion to be a creator, to be a teacher, to be a mentor, to help other people, uh, I think it is important to maximize their impact. And we do that by, first of all, making money, right? Because if you make money, you can do this full time, then you can spend a lot more time uh, on actually the teaching things. And if you are focused, then of course you are maximizing your impact as well. And now YouTube, I see it as a very scalable way. So I'm not expecting to see like any short-term growth, but if I just keep uploading one video every single week for like a year, 2 year, 3 years, then they will all compound, and then I can make even more impact. I can help even more people monetize their passion, and getting more impact because of it.
It's beautiful. I love that you really are thinking of like maximizing your efforts and spreading the information that you know and the lessons that you learn on YouTube and really touching more people. And YouTube is clearly an evergreen platform compared to Instagram or all of these social media that are made for daily consumption. Tibor, what would be, and we're gonna make sure to put the link of your YouTube in the comments so people can see what you're doing because I'm sure there's a lot of value there. Uh, what would be the best advice you could give to someone right now?
The best advice is, you ask me difficult questions, man.
I know you
No,
can answer them.
yes. The best advice is, first, figure out what it is that you truly want. What is it that you want? Like if you never have to work for money ever again in your life, what is it that you would do? Um, Try to discover your ikigai. Not really ikigai, because the real ikigai is the Japanese, it is the reason for being. There is a Western version for it, and that is the intersection between what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. I would suggest anyone to figure that out. And once you find something that checks all of these boxes, then just say no to everything. Just focus on that one thing, remove all of the distractions, and become really the best at what you do. Because once you become the best at what you do and you become the only viable option in the market, then everyone will go to you and you will see the greatest results. You will have even more money, more time, more impact, to do the things you actually like to do. I think that
The
is it.
Ikigai sounds like a very, very good advice. See, I knew you could answer that question. What is the worst advice you've heard in business?
Oh, the, the worst advice that I've heard in business. Um, okay, I'm going to I'm going to contradict a lot of people here, and that is, pick a niche. I think, but that is personally for me, right? Because I think it is better to be directionally accurate than it is to be specifically inaccurate.
Hmm.
If you just start following your curiosity, those curiosity will lead to your interests. Those interests will lead to the essence of your philosophy, and that essence will lead to your niche. And on the
Yeah.
other hand, if you just pick a niche right now, but what if you're wrong? Then you have to pick another niche, and if you start from scratch back again, and then you have to do another one, then another one. If you just do it that way of starting broad and funneling down, then you can't you will always end up on the right path. Because when I first started on posting on X, I thought maybe I would become maybe I would become a ghostwriter, for example. Maybe I would create products. Like, I don't know what I was going to do, but if I would only become a ghostwriter, then I wouldn't have ended up where I am right now. If you just go in the right direction, just start walking, you don't know whether your path goes left, right, up, or down. You can only see the steps right in front of you. So just focus on the path, walk in the right direction, and eventually you will find your way. I didn't know I was going to become a focus and a business coach, but yet I'm super fulfilled right now. So you don't have to have it all figured out. Don't worry about picking a niche immediately. Just walk in the right direction and you will eventually get to where you need to be.
Perfect. Thank you for this amazing interview, Tibor.
No worries.
Goodbye, everybody.